The America We Deserve is a political book written by Donald J. Trump, first published in 2000. In this work, Trump outlines his vision for America's future, presenting his views on various critical issues such as national security, healthcare, foreign policy, education, and the economy. It is often regarded as an early reflection of his political ideologies, predating his 2016 presidential campaign, though many of the concepts expressed in the book would later be incorporated into his political rhetoric as a candidate and president. The book is structured around Trump's personal experiences and his perspective on the challenges facing America. Through it, he presents himself as a problem solver, capable of applying his business expertise to govern the country. With his signature brash, no-nonsense style, Trump argues that America's leaders have failed the nation and that it is time for someone from outside the political system, someone with business acumen like him, to take charge and restore the country's greatness. National security and foreign policy. One of the book's central themes is national security, and Trump expresses deep concern about the state of America's military and the nation's ability to protect itself. He criticizes the lack of preparedness and efficiency in the American defense apparatus, suggesting that the United States needs to rethink its approach to both defense and foreign policy. Trump's stance is isolationist in nature, although he advocates for strong military forces to protect American interests when necessary. He advocates for a robust military presence, but emphasizes that the United States should focus on its own borders and problems first, rather than engaging in foreign wars. He is particularly critical of the Clinton administration's approach to military engagement and suggests that the U.S. should not be the world's policeman. Trump's frustration with foreign interventions and endless wars is evident in the book, signaling his later rhetoric on avoiding foreign conflicts and focusing on domestic priorities. Furthermore, Trump is critical of the United States' relationships with foreign countries that he views as unfair. He contends that many nations take advantage of America, both economically and strategically. In The America We Deserve, Trump mentions several trade imbalances and suggests that America is being exploited by its allies and adversaries alike. He argues that trade deals, especially with countries like China, are disastrous for American workers, and that the U.S. should renegotiate these agreements to favor American interests. This protectionist view is a central theme in his book. Trump asserts that the U.S. must stop allowing foreign nations to exploit its resources and labor force, and he strongly believes that American businesses should be protected from unfair competition. This stance foreshadows his America First policy, which he would later adopt during his 2016 presidential campaign. Economic issues. The book delves extensively into economic issues, and Trump is highly critical of the American economy under the Clinton administration. He talks about the national debt, the impact of globalization, and the erosion of American manufacturing. Trump's views are distinctly populist in nature, appealing to the working class and focusing on issues such as trade, wages, and job losses due to outsourcing. One of the most significant areas of focus in The America We Deserve is the economy's relationship with globalization. Trump argues that American companies are moving overseas to take advantage of cheaper labor, leaving behind American workers who are unable to compete with foreign labor forces. He is particularly concerned about the outsourcing of jobs to countries with lower wages and fewer labor protections. Trump proposes that America should take back control of its manufacturing and labor markets to revitalize American industry and bring jobs back to the U.S. Trump also expresses concern about the fiscal state of the U.S., particularly the growing national debt and government spending. He criticizes the idea of balancing the budget by borrowing more money, which he believes only adds to the country's financial problems. He suggests that the U.S. needs to take a much stricter approach to its spending and should avoid the deficit spending that has plagued the government for decades. He advocates for cutting wasteful spending and eliminating inefficiencies in government programs to balance the national budget. Additionally, Trump presents himself as a businessman who understands the need for tax cuts to stimulate growth. He is a strong proponent of reducing taxes on businesses and individuals, arguing that lower taxes would encourage investment and job creation. Trump discusses his belief in a simple, low-tax system, which he claims would promote economic growth by allowing businesses and individuals to retain more of their earnings. Trump's stance on healthcare in The America We Deserve is highly critical of the existing system, which he deems broken and inefficient. While the book predates the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, Trump is already expressing dissatisfaction with the American healthcare system and its rising costs. He argues that healthcare should be more accessible to the average American and that the government's involvement in healthcare is part of the problem, not the solution. He advocates for a more market-driven approach to healthcare, where competition would drive down costs and improve quality. Trump suggests that by reducing government regulation and allowing for more private sector involvement, the healthcare system would become more efficient and effective. He also believes that Americans should have more control over their healthcare decisions, allowing individuals to choose their healthcare providers and plans based on their needs. Trump's healthcare ideas in the book align with his later proposals for reform during his presidential campaign. Though his views on healthcare would evolve over time, the core principles of reducing government involvement and increasing competition remained consistent. Education. Another issue Trump addresses in The America We Deserve is education. He argues that America's educational system is failing, particularly in terms of preparing young people for the workforce. Trump is critical of the public education system, particularly the influence of teachers' unions and the bureaucracy that he believes stifles innovation and efficiency in schools. He advocates for school choice, including the expansion of charter schools and vouchers, which would allow parents to send their children to private or better performing schools. Trump also stresses the importance of vocational training, suggesting that not every student needs to go to college and that the country should focus on providing opportunities for students to learn skills that will prepare them for well-paying jobs in industries like construction and manufacturing. Trump's criticism of public education systems, particularly in urban areas, is a recurring theme in his later speeches and political campaigns. His emphasis on school choice and vocational training was reflected in policies he championed during his presidency. Immigration. Immigration is another key topic in The America We Deserve. Trump expresses strong views on illegal immigration and calls for stricter border controls. He criticizes the lax enforcement of immigration laws and the influx of undocumented immigrants into the country. Trump argues that illegal immigration is a significant drain on American resources, leading to higher crime rates and increased welfare costs. He advocates for stronger immigration policies, including building a wall along the southern border of the United States to prevent illegal crossings. Trump also emphasizes the importance of legal immigration, but stresses that the U.S. should prioritize immigrants who can contribute positively to the economy and society. Trump's views on immigration in the book foreshadow his later hardline stance on the issue during his presidential campaign and presidency, where he made border security and immigration reform a central part of his platform. The America We Deserve offers readers a comprehensive look at Donald Trump's vision for America at the turn of the 21st century. His political views in the book are a blend of populism, nationalism, and economic conservatism, and many of the themes he outlines in the book would later become central elements of his presidential campaign and administration. Trump positions himself as an outsider who can bring much-needed change to Washington, D.C., and his critique of the political establishment, both Republican and Democrat, is a recurring theme throughout the book. While The America We Deserve presents a vision of a stronger, more prosperous America, it also reflects Trump's belief in his own abilities as a businessman and leader. He argues that the country needs someone with his unique skill set to solve its problems, and he makes the case that his approach to governance would be effective because it mirrors the same strategies that led to his success in the business world. While critics argue that Trump's ideas are simplistic and his proposals often lack concrete details, the book is an important glimpse into the ideas that would later shape his political career. Whether one agrees with his policies or not, The America we deserve remains an essential part of understanding the development of Donald Trump's political ideology and his rise to the presidency. Ja,